Welcome to Sea Files, folks. We have a special guest. That's Emma. Say hi, Emma. Say hi, Emma. She's hiding back there. She don't want to be a YouTube star. Neither do I. But anyway, let's talk. Now we can talk. But first, a word from our sponsor. If I can get out of this clogged parking lot. Oh, you want to lick my hand? There it goes. All right, let me figure my way out of here, folks. I have a sponsor. Jeff's Special Coffee. Now, I know everybody else is selling their special coffee, all right? And they all say it's the best. But Jeff's Special Coffee is like nobody else's coffee. You tell me what flavor you want in that coffee, and I will run down to the local grocery store and get it for you. And then I will ship it off to your house for a nominal fee, and you won't even have to leave your lazy boy. Nobody's coffee is like Jeff's Special Coffee. That store-bought, aroma. That store-bought hits your mouth and wakes you up immediately because it's store-bought. And for you cowboys out there, the beans are not included. So, Jeff's Special Coffee, my sponsor, which gives me no money for my videos. Anyway, so, you want the special coffee, I'll run down the store and get it for you. All right. I'd sell you gold, but I don't have any. All right. My wife says I'm not funny. You're not funny. I know. I don't care. I'm going to tell jokes anyway. Everybody's selling coffee and everybody's selling gold. Let me give you a little hint about gold. Just a little entertainment today. When they sell you gold, do they sell it to you for diamonds? Do they take diamonds for gold? How about silver? How about rubies? Titanium. How about titanium? No. What do you give them for them to give you your gold? Either your gold certificate, gold IRA, or little gold coin. Fiat money, folks. They take your dollars. They take your dollar bills, and lots of them. Of course, it's electronic transfer probably out of your bank account. Let me ask you a question. Who's getting the better deal? Just some food for thought. All right, so we have us a ceasefire. We got us a ceasefire. Hey, Emma, we got a ceasefire. Did you know that? Are you excited about the ceasefire, Emma? Anyway, Emma's back there saying, I don't care nothing about no Israel-Iran conflict. Just give me my treat when we get to the house. That's all she cares about. Anyway, yeah, we have a ceasefire. So what is a ceasefire, folks? That's a quiz of the day. What is a ceasefire? Anybody want to tell me what a ceasefire is? Well, we've had a ceasefire, a different ceasefire, for about 70 or so years. I'm not old enough to remember that ceasefire. It was before I was born. This was before I was conceived in the mind of my parents. We had a ceasefire. North and South Korea. And technically that war never ended. I've known some Army guys that were on the DMV. They worked on the DMV before. And that DMV is still hot. And, but they have a ceasefire. The war didn't end. They're just saying, we're not going to shoot at each other. Could that start up at any time they want? Yes, they could. North Korea could say, oh, you know what? We're tired of ceasefire. We're just going to start firing again. Could happen. That's why we got troops on the DMV, see? That's why it was such a big deal when Trump met with Kim Jong-un on the DMZ. That was a big deal because it's saying, hey, you know, we don't have any intention of blowing each other up. And that's kind of nice. But here's the thing. Iran and Israel now have a ceasefire. Now, the trend was trending toward all-out boots-on-the-ground war because it was using the same pattern that every war has used in my lifetime. But suddenly something happened. That pattern was interrupted, and they got a ceasefire. That's a good thing. I'm glad they got a ceasefire. But folks, don't be fooled into thinking that ceasefire means the war ended. That's not what it means at all. Not at all. It means they're not going to shoot at each other. But technically the war is still on. Just like the war between South and North Korea is still on. They can call it a 12-day war if they want to, but we all know what a ceasefire is. But at least it's a ceasefire. We've had relative peace between North and South Korea for these 70 years because of a ceasefire. Let's hope that that's what happens between Israel and Iran. Now, why were some of us out here not real excited about the U.S. getting involved in that situation over there? Well, it's because the pattern was telling us that this was going to go into a full-blown war. Fortunately, the pattern was disrupted, and that didn't happen. And so I'm happy about that. The second reason is because a lot of us out here could care less about if Israel and Iran are shooting at each other. Frankly, I know the WMD, right? The nuclear weapon thing was used. All right, okay. That can be debated out. Whether they had nukes, didn't have nukes, have nukes, whatever. I mean, it's... The thing is that we don't want anybody shooting off nukes in the Middle East and you know, causing a chain reaction that will blow the entire world up. Think about it. All of this rah, 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 hooray for our side. You know, everybody cheering for their country like they're cheering for football teams. You know, who's going to make the Super Bowl? It's childish, folks. The reality is, it doesn't matter who's the biggest, the baddest, and toughest kid on the playground if the playground is incinerated. If the playground is incinerated, it doesn't matter, you know, who the biggest and toughest kid on the playground was, means absolutely nothing. Everybody loses. That's the whole point of having nukes, is that if anybody shoots one off, everybody loses. It's called a deterrence. Mutual destruction. You shoot a nuke off at me, I shoot one off at you, we both die. Okay? That's how it works. But not only do we die, but we take a whole bunch of other countries with us because nuclear winter, fallout, radiation, wind patterns. I mean, it's not a good scenario. So no, I didn't want Iran to have nukes. Israel has nukes. I don't want them to have nukes. I don't want anybody to have nukes. But the reality is, we have them. They were invented. They were created. Now we got to live with them. How do we do that? We got to be smart. We got to be wise. We got to understand we can't blow each other up, because then all of humanity gets destroyed. It's just silliness. Rah, 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 hooray. Okay, yeah. We rooted for our team and all the teams got blown up. I mean, come on, folks. Look, 41 years I've served this nation of America. 41 years. And both in the military and law enforcement, combination of 41 years. I did 2 deployments overseas. But I'll be the first to tell you that, oh, go red, white, and blue, rooting for the good old US of A means absolutely nothing if nobody survives. Anyone who's been involved in a nuclear triad understands that. Our ballistic missiles, our B-2 bombers, the Strategic Air Command, and the nuclear submarines. Yes, root for your nation, but do it smartly. Don't be stupid about it. That's what I'm saying. It's not a football game, folks. We're not rooting for our favorite football team, or favorite basketball team, or favorite baseball team, or soccer team. When we're talking about situations like we're seeing in the Middle East, they are very serious matters, because one wrong move could lead to disaster for everybody. That's why some of us were leery. Well, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I heard that one today. I'm not scared. America's not scared. We're not scared. We're tough. We're not scared. Nobody scare us. Okay, look. If you're a lineman on a football team and you're going out to the other team and you don't want to be scared, okay, that's fine. Great. But let me tell you something. When you're facing global annihilation, well, I'm not scared because I know where I'm going when I die. I'll hit those pearly gates, and that'll be it. But nobody wants to blow the world up. And that's why people were getting riled up over this situation. And of course, there are all these different opinions. But let me tell you something. When it comes to this childish stuff you see on Facebook all the time, the Iranian flag, the Israeli flag, the American flag, the Russian flag, the Ukrainian flag, whatever it might be. Oh, I support Ukraine. Oh, I support Israel. Blah, blah, blah. It's like they're rooting for their favorite football team. Let me tell you something. When it comes to Israel and Iran, I don't support either one of them. I don't support either one of them. When it comes to Ukraine and Russia, I don't support either one of them. It's not my country. I support the country I live in. That's it. That's what America First means. I support the country I live in. Now, I'm not trying to make anybody great. Okay, let's just get that one out of the way too. I'm not trying to make anybody great. God is great. Okay, that's who's great. God is great. Let's just leave it there. Now, am I starting to rant? I'm not supposed to be ranting in front of Emma here. Emma, am I ranting? You let me know if I start ranting, okay? You just give me a little yep. Tell me stop ranting. All right. So that's where I'm at on that. No more of this, don't come on my Facebook page and ask me if I support a particular country in a particular conflict. My answer is going to be no. And I know all my Christian friends are saying, but you're supposed to support Israel. Really? Where's that? Where's that? Are you going to go to Genesis 12? You want to have that debate? Because you're going to lose. No, I don't have to support Israel. I worship the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. Why would I want to support a radical Muslim country and support, I should say, a country that worships a God that I don't worship, or his government is mostly atheistic? I don't worship the Jewish God, and I don't worship the Muslim God. I worship the Christian God. So yeah, I don't support the Jewish state of Israel, and I don't support the Muslim state of Iran. And frankly, I don't support everything that America does. Remember, I served this country for 41 years. Faithfully served this country for 41 years. And I don't agree with everything this country does. I don't think everything this country does is pure as the driven snow, right in the eyes of the Lord all the time. No, we've done a lot of stuff we shouldn't have done. But that doesn't mean I'm going to abandon this country. I think there's hope for this country. I think God can bless this country if we will honor God. I'm seeing younger folks turning away from secularism and mysticism and all of that, and they're turning back toward Christ, and that's a good thing to see. And that's why I believe God is sparing America. But that's where we are, folks. So don't believe all the rhetoric you see in the social media. I go through social media. I look at X, I look at True Social, I look at YouTube, I look at Rumble, I look at all this stuff. And I scroll through and I'm going, okay, propaganda. Oh, wait, there's something that might be worth looking at. Propaganda, nonsense, garbage, propaganda. Oh, wait, there's something that might be worth looking at. Oh, can't be verified. Oh, yep, that's somebody tried to put something on there that's from something different, and they're trying to say it applies to something else. Oh, yep, nope, caught that one. You can't believe the news media on hardly anything, and you can't believe social media on a lot of things. So you have to think beyond all of that stuff. Because I don't have sponsors, but I will go down to the grocery store and get your coffee if you want me to. And if you want me to sell you fake gold, just send me your money. I'll do it. But I don't have sponsors. I don't advertise. I don't want to. I don't want someone else trying to control my content on my channel. I'm not looking to get 1 million views. I don't care about that. But those who come to this channel and say, this is kind of refreshing. It's raw, it's honest. I don't agree with everything he says, but at least he says it. At least it's an opinion that isn't scripted by someone else. At least it's independent thinking. If that's refreshing to you, then hang around, subscribe, hit that notification button. I don't recommend you hitting it for your email, though. I just cleared out a ton of Rumble crap out of my email, and they're not going back on my email. It just clogs your email. Email is for people who know each other, sending each other mail. And it's for, if your workplace wants to communicate with you. That's email to me. All of this advertisement and junk and spam and stuff, that's not email. That's just a clog, like you'd have a clog in a drain. I don't pay any attention to it. And all these scammers that call every day. I got one right now calling on this phone that I'm recording this on, and I'm going to shut him down. You scammers and all you salespeople, don't call my phone. I'm not going to answer. And if I do answer, I'm going to make your day miserable. So don't even start. Oh, he's in his 60s. We can scam him. He won't know our scam. I was in law enforcement for 30 years. I know your scam. So stop with your scam, okay? Turn that one off again. That's enough. Stop scamming old people, you jerks. So, that's where we are. We have a ceasefire, and hopefully the economy will continue to roll along. Won't have any problems with the shipping and all of that. That's good. None of that's going to be interrupted. I mean, the scenario we could have gone down would have been horrible. But we came out with a better scenario. And if the best we can get is a ceasefire, then hey, that's what we'll do. We'll go ceasefire. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. I've come back into town. Emma's going to be our guest for a couple of weeks. And we're looking forward to having her. And so you might see her on some future videos. Anyway, God bless everybody. Sun's up. It's 95 degrees out there at about 110% humidity. Yeah, wonderful day. And it's not raining. So we'll count our blessings. How's about that? The Lord has preserved us once again. His providence and His sovereignty prevented us from blowing each other up in a nuclear exchange. God has intervened once again and saved the world, and He will continue to build His kingdom. The kingdom is founded upon the cornerstone. Christ is the cornerstone. 1 Peter chapter 2. New Jerusalem coming out of heaven in Revelation 21. That's the church, because it comes out of heaven like a bride adorned for her husband. That's the church. And God is building His church, and God is going to continue to, through the turmoils of temporary problems, it's going to continue to make things better in the world. I do believe that. Let me leave you with one last thought. If you wonder why some of us baby boomers who have been in the military, been in law enforcement, have been combat veterans and so forth, are so tired of war, and why we are so against getting involved in conflicts overseas, here's a little hint. Since the day I was born, And I'm a few days away from being 65 years old. Since the day I was born, we have been at war. Vietnam, Beirut, Panama, Grenada, First Gulf War, Afghanistan, Iraq. I can't even think of all of them. I can't even think of all the conflicts we've been in. But it seems like every couple of years, every few years, we're involved in some kind of a military action or conflict or war somewhere in the world. And it's been constant through my entire life. And I deployed twice overseas with the military. Isn't that right, Emma? You know Emma. Yeah, you know. Anyway, that's why we're tired. We're just tired of it. It's all we've seen all our life. It's all we've known all our life is America going to war somewhere. And that's why we're just done with it. We're just sick and tired of it. We don't want any more war. We're done. So maybe we can have peace for our grandkids. That's what we'd like to see. God bless. We'll see you next time on the C-Files.